G'day, my fellow media collectors. I'm Troy, and today we're looking at Stan Lee's Mighty Seven is an animated superhero film that was produced by Stan Lee Comics and Genius Brands and had its television premiere on the 1st of February 2014 on the Hub Network. This movie was one of Stan Lee's last original superhero creations, which was released when Stan was 91 years old, and the original name for the concept was Stan Lee's Super 7, but had to change it to the Mighty 7 as the toy manufacturer Super 7 sued Stan for trademark infringement on the name. It was part of a planned trilogy, and this movie was meant to be the first in the three-part animated movie series, but due to multiple reasons, the sequels never materialized. This DVD has a runtime of 66 minutes. This DVD was released on the 15th of April 2014 and was distributed by Cinedigm Home Entertainment. The story follows a fictionalized version of Stan Lee as he stumbles upon a group of 7 humanoid aliens who've crash landed on Earth. Among them are 2 space marshals escorting 5 intergalactic fugitives. When a covert military force and a menacing alien race called the Taegons close in, Stan brings his refugees to his Malibu home for safety. Using his storytelling expertise, he trains them to become a superhero team dubbed the Mighty Seven and helps them harness their powers to defend Earth in a climactic showdown against their reptilian foes. Now, the script for this film, it's a curious mix, shall we say, of a clever concept, some uneven execution, and at times a cluttered, overpacked story with Stan Lee, 2 alien lawmen, 5 criminal aliens, a military subplot, and a reptilian alien invasion. I mean, the script has way too many moving parts and really lacks focus. Now look, don't get me wrong, on paper this idea is, well, it's unique and interesting, with Stan Lee playing himself as the mentor of this ragtag group of alien fugitives and heroes to become this superhero team on Earth. Now, because of all of this, the pacing of the film is absolute full throttle, and it just rushes through introductions, stumbles through an unfocused middle, and then abruptly barrels towards an uninspired climax, trying to balance all of the superpowered characters and, oh god, all the subplots going on at once. It just ends up spreading itself way too thin. At times, the script really sacrifices any real drama or emotion for this super fast-paced, flashy action, with the action scenes reading like a checklist of comic book tropes like energy blasts and last-second rescues and heroic speeches and predictable teamwork saves the day endings. In the end, it's fun, colourful, and it's a real romper with a solid concept, but the writing never quite lives up to the potential of its premise, making it more of a wasted opportunity than a new groundbreaking superhero team. And for that, look, I'm probably going to give it about a middle of the range and go 15 out of 30. So this film is actually an adaptation of a comic book of the same name and was a proposed 6-issue miniseries to be published by Archie Comics. The first issue was actually released in March of 2012. Now, only 3 issues were printed because of the interest in using the concept for the possible animated like TV series or this movie trilogy, and however, All future movie and comic book production on the Mighty Seven was stopped due to a combination of company takeovers, a bit of a lack of interest, and ultimately Stan Lee's death. Now, the look of the animation in the film, it's not too bad and is probably a bit of an upgrade from the last two animated movies we've reviewed. That's for sure. But at times, the jump cuts and the fast pacing action gave me, honestly, it gave me whiplash. This film needs to slow things down, as I don't know about you, but your brain just can't keep up with the amount of things just getting thrown at you on the screen at once. It's just insane to watch.
I can't keep up.
This movie really needs a warning for those susceptible to seizures, as I was about to near have one myself, and I'm not susceptible to seizures.
Wow, I need to lie down.
Now the cast list. I'll just grab them from here. And as you can see, the film's cast list was actually this film's superpower. It was just a sheer star-studded voice cast that brings together a surprisingly stacked lineup of some reasonably big names for what is a relatively unknown property. You know, like, it just astounded me. And the fact that there are so many names here, I will just give you a quick rundown on a few of our main characters. So, of course, let's start with Stan Lee himself as Stan Lee. And his performance is exactly what you'd expect. Pure, unfiltered Stan with his larger-than-life personality that fits this meta concept perfectly. We have Armie Hammer as Strongarm, and he does give a solid square-jawed hero of vibe, though the writing doesn't give him much range beyond the generic bravado of a lead superhero. Now, Christian Slater as Laser Lord, he's clearly having some fun chewing through his lines, bringing a slightly smug, cocky energy that makes the character the edgy counterpoint to Hammer's Strongarm. Mayim Bialik manages to interject some intelligence and poise to Silver Skylark, making her one of the voices of reason and responsibility of the group. Terry Hatcher delivers Lady Lightning's lines with a sass and confidence through the script that doesn't let her, shall we say, fully shine in the role. But as a personality, that's what she brings, some fun to the role. Now, while the rest of the cast does its best, the limited runtime and crowded ensemble means no one really gets too much room to really stretch their acting chops, shall we say. Still, their collective professionalism and energy elevate what, if it wasn't for them, could have been a flat and forgettable movie, to say the least. Overall, it's a talented team stuck in a lightweight script that deserves some stronger material, and for that, I'm actually going to give this an 11 out of 20. So, as we look at the disc and case, I'm going to admit, this is very eye-catching. I didn't mind that. Like, Stan looks good. You can see Stan straight away, so very eye-catching. Then the group behind him, not too sure on the artwork on the characters. They look a little different to what they do in the cartoon. There's the side. There's the back, not bad again. Overall, this looks pretty good. There's the inside, there's the disc, color disc, tick, nice, and it's just a picture of Stan. Now, this is one thing that really gets me, is that I can't say I've ever seen this before, but I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a cardboard case pasted over the top of the, I've never seen anything like that before, and I remember seeing it, where did I see it? Wherever I picked it up from, and I just grabbed it straight away because I was like, ooh, this is different. I haven't seen this. Like, I've never seen anything like that. If you've seen something similar, let me know down in the comments below, but I've never seen a DVD like this. So, points for that. That's what this is what I like about it. Something different. It always makes it nice and collectible. So yeah, overall, great look on that. Very eye-catching. I'm glad they put a little bit of effort into it. And for that, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. So we actually get a couple of special features on this DVD, and they are Stan's rant, Stan's Q&A, and the script to screen. Only a couple of features here, and as usual, when it comes to these special features, we get Stan Lee, the character, not the man, telling us that it will be the next big thing, and he's so excited to bring us these new characters to life, which is the same shtick from the last ones, so nothing new here. And as I always say, these might be special features, but there's nothing really special about them. And unfortunately, look, for that, because there's 3 of them, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. As I bring up the Rotten Tomatoes scorecard, as you can see, the critics came in at, oh, no score. Okay, fair enough. While the audience came in at 40%. Well, that's not too bad. Now, look, when we have a look at it, there was actually no reviews from critics, which I was kind of surprised with. I thought there'd be at least one critic that may have reviewed it. But anyway, look, we did get an audience score, which was only one reviewer, which wasn't that great. So not sure what's going on here. Why no one has actually really reviewed this movie at all. I mean, his other projects had heaps of reviews on them, but this one just got no love whatsoever. And as we've only really got one score to go off, well, I'm just gonna have to round that one out. And of course, it was 40. Yep, you know what score we're gonna get? A 4 out of 10. So here we are. I'm 3 movies down: Mosaic, Condor, and Lightspeed. And I have to say, surprisingly, that this was the best one out of the 4 movies. Now, look, don't get me wrong, it wasn't awesome by any stretch, but it was definitely a lot better than the last 4 movies, that's for sure. I enjoyed the concept, even though the idea of Stan Lee mentoring real-life superheroes as a team was a bit cringy to me, but I think they kind of pulled it off, and I would have actually loved to have seen them flesh it out a bit more over the course of the proposed 3 movies that they were planning to do. Now, look, there is nothing new about the idea itself, as they tick all the superhero tropes that you can think of, but the fact that Stan Lee has injected himself into the narrative was something new, with him actually really being the star of the show in only a way that Stan can. Now, look, it's a novel idea, there's no two ways about it, but I don't think this would have any real longevity to carry on any longer than a few comic book issues, or maybe just the 3 movies for that matter of fact. I mean, it was enjoyable enough, but look, it does have its flaws, that's for sure. And look, for that, I'm definitely going to give it the best score out of the 4, and that would be a 13 out of 20. So for availability, we are looking at a 2 out of 5, as it is relatively easy to find on the secondhand markets like eBay. As far as collectability goes, I'm definitely going to put this at a 1 out of 5, just like the others. You don't necessarily need it in your collection, but if you're a big Stan Lee fan, then by all means. The average price you are looking at is somewhere between the $5 to $31 mark for the DVD, so it definitely does pay to shop around. Let's go to the scorecard and see how this one shapes up. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 53 out of 100. Now, that's not a bad score for what this is. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of this, but I still think it would have had a very limited shelf life anyway.
This isn't gonna last long.
Next week on the show, we're going to look at Batman Ninja on Blu-ray, so make sure you come back and tune in for that one. Thanks for watching.